Good morning everyone, leadership in sport. Talking about some qualities, characteristics and roles. So we're going to cover in this question, what makes an individual a successful leader? So we're going to cover, all they need to improve in areas are qualities, characteristics and roles. So we're covering that. So the first one is qualities. One of the qualities they need to know is knowledge of sport skills. So they need to know how to improve participants' skills. For example, in football, they need to know how to teach them basic skills from the start. There's passing, shooting, dribbling, the basic skills. They also need to have the tactics and strategies for effective training and game decisions. For example, just say each player, just for example, Jose Mourinho, he knows his strength and weakness of each player. He created a profile, so for example, he could say that, just say Drogba is very good in the air, so he could, if the opposite defenders, they're very quite short and not very weak, so he put Drogba on to help him win the games. He also needs to be able to demonstrate and show these skills to his participants so they could be able to learn. Going on to knowledge of rules and laws. So this, they also need to be able to pass and deliver his or her knowledge onto the participants. Without not knowing of the laws and of the sport, you cannot win games, you cannot teach participants, you cannot teach also understand the games. For example, let's just say a manager or a coach or a leader from table tennis going into basketball, and the opposite of basketball to table tennis, they would not be able to understand the rules of this or that, but putting themselves into their own sport, they would exactly know what to do, tactics, the rules of sport, all of this. Going on to understanding the mental needs of. So this is need to know how to engage and motivate participants. Also understand the participants' wants and aims and what they want and what they need. For example, at the start of the season, Paul Lambert this season took his team abroad after losing in the third round of the FA Cup against Sheffield United. So Villa players could come back fresh and start and shape, focus on the league. Benefits of this is to get the best out of the players. So once they're abroad, they forget about the past, focus on the future, so they get more motivated on the league. So it also improves the relationship between the manager and the players, so the team spirit will be more stronger. Going on to understanding the physical needs of the participants. So this is need to know to run session that includes different age and abilities of the participants. You have different abilities, everyone's different, everyone learns different, everyone plays different, so you need to know how to engage with the participants and improve each one of them. For example, let's just say all the participants should, for example, in a training session, you have older sessions, you have younger sessions. They need to know, a leader needs to know how to get them together or improve them by separate sessions. For example, let's say in football, goalkeepers have different abilities, so to strikers, so they need to have different drills and tactics, because otherwise they'll not improve as much as they would individually in their own position. Let's just take Manuel Pellegrini. For example, Frank Lampard is now age 36 around. The manager gives him short playing time so he doesn't pick up injuries. Otherwise, he get injured, so he will not play. So that's how you need to understand the player's ability and physical needs. Moving on to characteristics. So the one that I chose, a leader needs to be approachable. So approachable is being friendly and in a good conduct, so participants could be able to come to you easily and talk to you about their problems, issues they have. For example, not understanding health, personal, etc. So for example, let's just say most of the time players used to get to take Brian Clough and Peter Taylor. They were working together, as you know. So most of the time players used to go to Peter Taylor, and if they had any issues or problems, this is because he was more approachable to the players rather than Brian Clough, because he was more dominant, so he controlled what the game was, but the issues and the problems the players had, they used to go to Peter Taylor. That's because he was approachable. Patience, give participants a chance and time to learn in different ways, because everyone learns different ways. Some people learn slowly, they take the time, some people are fast learners. So don't rush. and don't give up easily, as some may not understand first time, some may understand first time. For example, Alan Pardew, so for the Newcastle one, as you can see from the stats, from the start of the game, you have 4 wins, 1 draw and 13 losses. All these are losses in the game, so they were at the bottom of the table. But then he was patient. He was very patient with his team and everyone, so he went on and carried on going. He never gave up. So as the season went on, he started winning games, so 8 wins, 13 draws and 4 losses. So you can see, and he was winning big games as well against Man City and West Brom and Liverpool. So you could see that he was very patient with him. Otherwise, if he wasn't patient, he would have probably wanted some next job in, I don't know, League 1 or League 2, maybe. Going on to goal focus. For this one, you need to know your short, middle, medium and long-term goals in order to improve and develop even further. For example, Harry Redknapp in the QPR FC, he got relegated 2 years ago from to Championship. His goal focus was to get back on top, get promoted to go Premier League, which he did do that. He got promoted back to Premier League. As he got promoted back to Premier League, his short goal was to strengthen the squad, get them ready for a higher level of football. So from Championship going into Premier League is a big advance, so big development. His medium was to stay away from relegation zone. So as you can see, at the moment he's on relegation zone, so just about for that time. And his long-term goal was to stay in the Premier League. So the moment this was the time that was a few months ago when I took this data. They were here. So the aim of them is to stay the long term, stay in Premier League, and actually get the next goal was to improve the squad like that. Being consistent, keeping the style or tactics or standards the same basically. So your approach and everything need to keep the same. Otherwise, changing doesn't develop further. Not changing over time, over and over again. Just take Fabio Capello, where he took over England captain in 2007. He made his squad wear suits. So the benefit of this was most players, they felt equal, they felt free and professional, and this increased the team's spirit. And that way also showed that they want to take things seriously. They want to win games. They're here to win games and win competitions. And also this intimidates opponents. Say for example, all of you guys wearing suits. I'm here. There's another group with clothes, different types of clothes. You can tell from 2 impressions like you guys are there for the job and you wanna win or games or something. Going on to roles. So a role model. Role model is someone that sets example for the participant to look up to for inspiration and support. Also, this will influence on participants' attitude and behaviour. So good role models are in a position to have positive influence on others. So let's just take Martin Johnson. He's a rugby player. He used to be a former captain of England and Leicester. As a captain in 2003, he led England to win the World Cup. And also he led Leicester Tiger to win cups back-to-back and the league. In 2008 he became the England manager, but left in 2011. So you can see Lily, as a captain, he was a role model. He needed to behave in a positive way to show for his teammates, not just teammates, for the whole country, since he was England captain. So which helped his teammate and team spirit to win the World Cup. Motivator. So this motivates us to improve and build confidence of participants, give them the positive feedbacks and praise them. Also a target for them to improve next session. So you don't want to go and shout at them, oh you done this, you didn't, you this and that. So you want to praise them and say, keep it calm and saying, oh next time you do this, this and that. But you have a positive side and a negative side, so for them the negative side to improve. And this also, because this creates a friendly and a safe atmosphere for participants to learn. Trainer need to know the knowledge about sports and anatomy. For example, the effects of exercise has on the body, so training could be altered in a way to improve and develop participants. Going into organisers, need to be able to sort out equipments, training sessions, equipments, games before, and also understand what equipment to be suitable for what type of sport is playing, and for what type of, for example, participants, the age difference and abilities. Wait, I just gave it away. I was going to ask you who this guy was, but obviously this guy is Angelo Dundee. Do you know anyone? Why anyone know him? No. Basically, he was Muhammad Ali's trainer or slash cornerman. He's been with Ali in all of his fights except 2. So let's just take not only that, but he was with other. He was a trainer with 15 others with boxers. Just say Shaw, Sugar Ray Leonardo, Josie Nichols, and many more. He was considered to be one of the greatest trainers of all time because you can see from 2 stats. These are 2 the people that he was trained. Say with Muhammad Ali's stats, 61 total fights, 56 wins with KOs and 37. Actually, 0 draws and 5 losses. With this guy's Sugar Ray Leonardo, he total fights 40, wins 36, and lose 3 and draw 1. So you can see from these 2, he was not only a role model, he was a motivator, he was a trainer, he was an organizer, and that's why it made him become the greatest trainers of all time. And that's it. Thank you.